Breaking news on To The Point. Reports of multiple people shot in Stockton. We're live with the latest details. Plus, a debate over recycling in the state.
We saw these signs starting to pop up throughout Sacramento, so we set out to find what is this proposed legislation and how does metal recycling help with wildfire cleanup.
The Trump administration preparing to withhold federal funds from sanctuary cities, how local leaders are fighting back, and the Menendez brothers resentencing case going before a judge. Tonight, their family speaking out. Good evening. We start with breaking news tonight. This is To The Point, and I'm Alex Bell. We know police are investigating a shooting out in Stockton. We also know at least 6 people are hurt. I want to get to ABC 10's Gabriel Porras, who's joining us live from the scene. Gabe, talk to us about what you're hearing from investigators tonight.
That's right, Alex. We so far have learned that at least 6 people have been shot here, as you mentioned. This is a look at the scene right now. It is still very active. Police are still doing their investigation here. Those 6 people who were shot are expected to survive. That is the good news here. Police say this all happened just after 2 p.m. today here on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard near Lincoln Street. So far, police have no information on a suspect. Police do believe, though, that this was targeted. They say there is no active threat to the public, but this did happen in a busy area. At one point there may have been a threat to the public. At one point, there were a lot of people impacted by this, and a lot of people in this immediate vicinity. Here's what police had to tell us.
It is early at this point to identify and figure out each person's involvement, if they returned fire, if they didn't return fire, if they were intended target, if they just happened to be in the area.
And police have not confirmed whether there was an exchange of gunfire, but they have this large area blocked off. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard is closed right now from Lincoln Street all the way to Interstate 5. On that street right now, where investigators appear to be taking pictures, there are almost 50 shell casings on the ground here, where you see the investigators kind of walking around. We are still working to get more information, get a lot of answers to the questions that we still have, and as we get that information, those updates, we'll be sure to pass them along to you here. For now, I'll send it back to you, Alex.
All right, Gabriel, thank you so much. And of course, we'll keep you updated on air and online. Stay with ABC 10 for updates. You can always catch up on breaking news as it happens on our ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. It is completely free to download straight to your TV. Well, new signs popping up around Sacramento urge support for SB 404, and that's a bill that would update regulations around California's metal shredding industry. ABC 10's Becca Habegger set out to learn more about the proposed legislation behind the signs.
If the West El Camino Avenue I-5 exit here in South Natomas is on your commute, maybe you've noticed this sign or others like it popping up throughout the area. They're in support of SB 404 and say this proposed legislation would ultimately help with wildfire cleanup. After the Southern California wildfires from earlier this year and so many other destructive fires in California, debris, including burned out vehicles and homes, needs to be removed from the area before rebuilding can begin. Debris that contains metal can go to one of 10 metal shredding facilities throughout the state. They process end-of-life vehicles, appliances, and other forms of scrap metal, separate recyclable materials from non-recyclable materials, and then sell the recyclable materials and dispose of the rest.
These are companies that are already highly regulated, but they're also companies that we want and we need in California. Otherwise, the raw material will just be taken and trucked to Arizona or Nevada. That's actually worse for the environment than having them process the materials here and turn them into usable products like rebar.
Stuart Waldman is president of the Valley Industry and Commerce Association, which opposes SB 404 unless the bill is amended. The proposed legislation would add more layers of regulation to the metal shredding industry, which proponents, including the California Metal Recyclers Coalition, which is paying for these signs, say is needed.
Currently, both large and small shredders alike are operating in a state of uncertainty that puts their businesses at serious risk. SB 404 would rectify this situation by creating a clear and balanced regulatory program.
Bob Hoffman represented the California Metal Recyclers Coalition in this Senate committee hearing last week as members considered SB 404. Opponents say the bill needs to distinguish between the metal shredding operations owned by big national or even multinational companies and smaller family-owned metal shredders, like Pacific Auto Recycling Center in Lancaster, whose owner, Robert Hall, testified at the committee hearing.
For small shredders like ours, these burdens could force many of of us to shut down, shrinking California's recycling capacity and weakening the circular economy.
The bill's author, Senator Ana Caballero, says she hears those concerns and she is continuing to work on the bill.
Small business is important, so I will continue to work with the remaining metal recyclers to ensure the unique needs of their business are being met.
In Sacramento, Becca Habiger, ABC 10.
As for what's next, the bill passed through one Senate committee last week and is set for another committee hearing in coming weeks. Right now to the first 100 days of the second Trump administration. Tonight, President Trump is renewing his threat to pull federal funding from sanctuary cities, including Sacramento. This all stems from an executive order signed on Inauguration Day directing federal funding to be cut from those not helping immigration enforcement. The city of Sacramento joined several others in a lawsuit challenging the withholding of funds. ABC 10's Devin Truby spoke to city leaders about next steps.
President Trump circling back to his Inauguration Day executive order directing federal funds to be cut from any jurisdiction not cooperating with immigration enforcement, posting this on social media in part saying no more sanctuary cities. Sacramento, being a sanctuary city, joined 14 other jurisdictions in a lawsuit challenging the withholding of funds.
This point is a lot of noise like it was 5 years ago. The president sued many states, including California and other cities, and it lost. And so, we expect that to happen again.
Sacramento has been a sanctuary city for 40 years. Since 1985, City Council passed a resolution in 2017 reaffirming the policy. The city of Sacramento is waiting for their hearing on April 23rd in federal court.
We are hopeful that our injunction will be granted, similar to how it was in the previous Trump administration. And then we do anticipate that it will be challenged at the Court of Appeal. We again are hopeful that the Court of Appeal will also affirm, just as it did last time. And then we'll have to see what happens with the Supreme Court.
Sacramento stands to lose approximately $175 million in federal reimbursements supporting critical services, including public works, public safety, and medical programs.
And in Sacramento County in particular, over 21% of our population are immigrants. And in California, we have over 2 million undocumented family members living with U.S. citizens, with families. And for me in particular, keeping our families together it's a human rights issue.
The Sacramento Police Department alone faces the potential loss of over $1.6 million in the Department of Justice grant programs essential for hiring officers and funding crime prevention technologies.
Put in jail or state prison or deported people who are serious or violent criminals. But people who, have violated immigration law, our law enforcement resources are better spent focusing on solving crime. And then also our police department is crystal clear, and they want people who are immigrants to be able to talk to the police department.
Reporting in Sacramento, Devin Truby, ABC 10.
All right, we want to get to an update now on the Lodi city manager position. The current city manager is under administrative leave after alleging misuse of public funds. Today, City Council named Christina Jerome as acting city manager. She currently is the Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Services Director. Her appointment is temporary. City Council will meet again next Wednesday regarding the appointment of a candidate outside the area as interim city manager. Still ahead, on to the point, new details in the Nendez brothers case, what a judge just decided in their resentencing attempt.
And 70s and 80s on the way for this weekend. I'm going to talk about this temperature warm-up and how long it lasts.
And later on the back roads, we head out to Truckee to see where you can do some winter cycling through snowy terrain. Welcome back in. Here's a live look over Golden One Center tonight. It is a busy night in Sacramento. The Kings are set to play off the Clippers at 7 o'clock, and just a mile down the road, Sutter Health Park, the Athletics are taking on the New York Mets. First pitch at 7:05. Let's go ahead and bring in meteorologist Brendan Minchef joining us tonight. And Brendan, it was a beautiful day. It's going to be a beautiful night to enjoy those games too.
Yeah, for sure. It's a warm day, but we've got a little bit of a delta breeze, so we're going to be looking at temperatures in the low 70s for tip-off and then low 60s by the time we're hopefully lighting the beam. Tonight, a few clouds out there. We did not have as much cloud cover as I necessarily expected. The clouds we did have mostly been high clouds, and so that did not impact our ability to warm up today. We made it to 84 degrees for the third day in a row in downtown Sacramento. 82 Stockton, 82 in Modesto this afternoon, 80 in Vacaville for a high temperature, 77 in Fairfield. Currently, though, in those low to middle 70s, upper 60s in Fairfield. Again, we've got a little bit of a Delta breeze going this evening, and so that is helping to drop some temperature. Just a little bit breezy out there right now. Early Saturday morning, temperatures are going to be in those upper 40s across much of the valley. A few lingering clouds, but they will be clearing out. I do expect tomorrow to be a sunny day, and not just tomorrow, but Sunday as well. Widespread 70s for Saturday, so a few degrees cooler. I would say noticeably cooler compared to where we have been. However, that 77 is still a few degrees warmer than normal for the time of year. So upper 70s across most of the valley tomorrow. It'll be a little breezy as well. Not so much on Saturday necessarily, just a little bit. But on Sunday, we are going to see those northerly winds pick up, especially in the upper Sacramento Valley on the west side of the valley early Sunday morning, and then just generally breezy through the rest of Sunday afternoon. Winds about 20 miles per hour or so. But temperatures do spike. 10 degrees warmer than average on Sunday, almost 15 degrees warmer than average on Monday, with temperatures climbing into those middle 80s. But then as we go through the lead up to Easter, temperatures going to be in those upper 70s and low 80s.
Right after the break, a judge is weighing in on whether to resentence the Menendez brothers. This as their family is speaking out in a new interview. Plus, a roller coaster week for the stock market, the updates on possible trade negotiations as most tariffs are on pause. New tonight, a judge just ruled that the resentencing hearings for Eric and Lyle Menendez can continue. It comes as the Los Angeles District Attorney says he is open to it, but certain conditions must be met. Jacqueline Lee has more from Los Angeles, as the brothers' family says they just want fairness.
At a hearing in Los Angeles today, a judge deciding whether or not to proceed with resentencing hearings for Eric and Lyle Menendez. Los Angeles District Attorney Nathan Hochman asking the court to withdraw the petition for the brothers' resentencing, saying they never admitted fault for murdering their parents. The brothers were 18 and 21 when they were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for murdering Kitty and Jose Menendez in 1989. And today, we're hearing exclusively from 8 Menendez family members, Jose Menendez's sole surviving sister speaking for the first time in decades.
For everybody, this is a story. For me, it's very personal. Those kids, they are like the boys that I didn't have. So it's time. 35 years is a long time. It's a whole branch of my family erased. The ones that are gone and the ones that are still paying for it, which were kids.
The Eric and Lyle Menendez case has been the subject of multiple streaming documentaries and shows that have generated new interest in the brothers. D.A. Hochman rejecting his predecessor's decision to resentence the brothers, telling ABC's Matt Gutman last month the two never admitted to or apologized for lying in the past, but he left the door open to changing his mind.
If they sincerely and unequivocally admit for the first time in over 30 years the full range of their criminal activity and all the lies that they have told about it.
Like, do you want them to enumerate each individual lie? Do you have a checklist?
I actually do.
And the family says they are cautiously hopeful that California Governor Gavin Newsom will fast-track a parole hearing for the brothers. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Los Angeles.
New details tonight about the tragic helicopter crash into New York City's Hudson River. New surveillance video shows the moment the tourist helicopter broke apart, falling into the river and killing 6 people. On board was tech executive Agustin Escobar, his wife, and 3 children. The pilot was veteran Sam Johnson. Several agencies are investigating the crash to determine what went wrong.
New York Police Department is still diving for components and pieces of the helicopter that we are still looking to recover.
Charter company New York Helicopter was operating the flight. The company says it was on its 6th flight of the day. Let's jump into your price points tonight. President Trump is threatening to return to higher tariff rates that he announced last week if he can't reach a deal with trading partners during the 90-day pause. The stock market this week has gone through several ups and downs reacting to the tariffs. The White House says more than 75 countries have reached out to negotiate their tariffs with President Trump.
Phones are ringing off of the hooks. They've made it very clear they need the United States of America.
It's unclear if China will be involved in these negotiations. Right now, the U.S. and China each have more than 100% tariffs on goods from the other. As we approach Easter, egg prices are still at a record high. According to the Consumer Price Index, the average cost of eggs was $6.23 per dozen just last month. Experts were expecting to see a dip in prices because the price of wholesale eggs dropped, but demand for eggs is so high right now, so relief is not expected until after Easter. You know that sound. It's time for another trip on the back roads. Tonight, John Bartel is taking us on a really unique trip through the snowy mountains above Truckee by riding on fat tire bicycles.
The little mountain town of Truckee has over 30 miles of paved biking trails. It's one of the most popular places for cyclists to go in Nevada County. There's just one problem, though. In the winter, those bike trails are covered in snow. The solution to that problem is fat tire biking.
They're perfect for that, going through different types of terrain, mud, snow, sand, things that you would struggle on a regular size tire.
Rachel and Dennis Elstey own Bike Truckee, one of the only bike rental shops in the area that can operate year-round.
Previous to the fat tire bikes, what was the biking business like in the winter here?
In the winter, it was non-existent.
The obvious feature of fat tire biking is, of course, the fat tire itself, which acts sort of like a balloon in the snow.
Well, we have these big 4.0 tires. We keep them a little bit soft so that they really can absorb all of the different undulations and things with the terrain that we're on, the different snow and everything.
The mountain biking industry has been slowly developing the fat tire bike for over a decade. But if you ask me, the greatest advancement is the addition of the electric assist motors.
These are called a power assist rather than a throttle style electric bike, where you have to put energy in to get the energy out.
A great beginner trail that Rachel and Dennis like to send riders on is the Sawtooth Recreation Area, which takes you high above the town of Truckee and through a tree-covered portion of the Tahoe National Forest.
The Sawtooth Trail is an extensive trail network. It connects Tahoe City and also to Kings Beach, so it's this big open space.
Fat tire biking is definitely fun, but the true experience, in my opinion, is the sights that you'll see and the feeling you'll get while pedaling through the area free from crowds of people.
There's a lot of bald eagles and hawks, abundant hawks. They're constantly hunting. If you're really lucky, you might see an owl in some of these trees.
Riding the fat tires through the snowy bike trails of Truckee. I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
You can always find more Bartel's Backroads destinations on the ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. They are under the Shows tab. Just scroll down to Travel, Bartel's Backroads, and that app is free to download to your TV. Next, on To The Point. If you're hungry for adventure, we'll share some weekend events where your taste buds are really in for a treat. Well, this weekend is full of a lot of events. The Asparagus Festival is celebrating its 30th year in Stockton. The festival runs through Sunday at the San Joaquin County Fairgrounds, and you can enjoy fun asparagus food, live performances, carnival rides, and monster trucks. Tickets just $15 for adults and $10 for the kids. And happening in Sacramento Southside Park this weekend is the Grilled Cheese Festival. On Saturday, the Grilled Cheese Escape, a 21-plus event featuring grilled cheese samples, beer, and wine. And then on Sunday is the Family Day. Along with grilled cheese, you can enjoy activities, live music, and wrestling. We have all the links on how to buy those tickets on our website right now at abc10.com. As always, thank you so much for watching and inviting us into your home. If you have something that you think me and the team should be looking into, you already know what to do. Reach out to us at Point at abc10.com. And To The Point does not end here. You can always watch the stories featured on our show. Just download our free ABC 10 Plus streaming app to your TV. Have a great night and a great weekend.